Hey folks, welcome back to Podunk Barbecue. It's been a few months since I posted something. I've got the smoker warming up outside, and today I've got some spare ribs here. I've already trimmed up one whole rack, and I'm going to do another one right now. I also have 2 racks of baby backs that are chilling in the fridge. So we're going to go through how to trim this up and make it look pretty. It's called a St. Louis style cut, and we'll get into that here in just a minute. Okay, so I got this out of the cryovac, and we've got it opened up here, and this is the top side, and then we'll flip this over. We're going to trim a lot of this off because here's our ribs. We got to get this membrane off of here, trim back all of this fat and this skirting here. We'll trim this back. We'll have a little snack out of all this extra we have here. So let's get into quite a bit of this back. So I'm just sticking my fingers down in here to feel where those bones are, so I don't take off too much. And then you get bones poking out of the end and whatnot. So we just drag our knife along here, down deep. Like I said, I'm not a butcher, I'm just going by feel. And you can use a meat cleaver or a good sharp knife or whatever you need to do. This gets a little tough right in here because you got a lot of cartilage and there are bones there. But if you've got a decently sharp knife, and I probably should have sharpened this before I started this little project here, would have made life a little bit easier, but that's all right. So just trim that back. And we've got a nice little snack here if we want to trim this back right here. And there, we can cook that along with our ribs and have a little snack. So we'll set this aside. We'll set this aside. There's a few more pieces of fat that we could trim back, but I'm not trying to be too picky about this. I kind of want to leave that fat on there so it renders down a little bit more. So now it's time to season these babies and then get them wrapped up, let them sit in the fridge for a little bit. Like I said, I've already got 1 rack of spare ribs and 2 racks of the baby backs in there chilling already. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little olive oil. Some people like to use mustard or other stuff. Olive oil is fine. You just really are using it for a binder for your rub to stick to. And I kind of went a little bit heavy here, but that's all right. We'll just rub that in on the sides, flip it over. Probably have enough residual here to just rub it in. And I'll throw a little bit more on here, and we'll get that on there, and then we're going to start seasoning these babies. So I've got my own rub here. I can put a link down below to the recipe or put the recipe on there. I like mine. The kids like this. This is a savory pork barbecue rub. It's also great for chicken. You can modify this to add or subtract more salt. Pork, you really don't want to add too much salt to this. Chicken can handle it, but this has salt, pepper, paprika, cayenne pepper, brown sugar, regular sugar, and I'm just giving it a healthy coating here. Yeah, just like that. And this is going to give it a nice color too, because we want to get that nice mahogany color before we wrap them. So I'm going to wrap this up in some plastic wrap. Throw it in the fridge for a little while, and then we'll see you back at the grill. All right, we're out at the smoker. Since I posted the review, I did upgrade the thermometer here, and this one is like dead on. And I'm just trying to back it down a little bit here. We were at 350, so I want to be around 275, 300. Some folks like to do it a little bit hotter, but I find that 275 using the 3-2-1 method, 300, 325 is fine. I mean, it's going to spike a little bit here and there. But anyway, using the 3-2-1 method, we're going to do 3 hours on smoke, and then 2 hours wrapped, and then 1 hour with the sauce glaze. I got my water pan sitting here. That really helps. It really, really helps. Let's check on our fire here. So that got us down a little bit. Looks like we're still dropping. I've got the side like about half open. Decent hot embers in there. It's gonna give us some right where we want it to be. I don't know if you can see that, but there it is. That's that thin blue smoke they're talking about right there. Spray bottle full of apple juice to douse those ribs after, you know, every hour, 45 minutes or so. Come out, spritz them down. All right, well, let's go get these bad boys and throw them on, because I think we're right about where we want to be. All right, we're back at the pit here. That fire kind of died down, so we stoked it back up. And we got one hell of a fire going in there with that hickory and some other hardwood. Baby's hot, 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 hot. And as you can see, it is cruising up. So I'm probably going to want to close down the damper a little bit, control this heat and get that back down to 275. We've been hanging, it's been hanging in the 300s, you know, 280 to 3, you know, 330, it hasn't gotten quite up to 350, but this puppy's hot, so I want to use my needle nose and kind of back it down a little bit. Here we go. That should help regulate our temp there. And it's time to give him a little shower. So here's what we got going on here. Look at that. Man, oh man. And that water pan is just sizzling away. You throw some apple juice in there, whatever you like. I just have water right now. And just give them a good little spray. Apple juice is pretty good. You know, you could use apple cider vinegar. Some people like to do that. I just give them a good coating. Nothing with too much sugar. You know, apple juice does have quite a bit of sugar in it, but it works just fine. Those baby backs up here looking a little dark, but I think they're going to be fine. I did rearrange them a little bit. So let me give them a good soak in here. And let's see if we can't take a look at the other side of these. I'll see that bone's pulling away right there. We could probably wrap these right now because they're not as fatty as the other ones. So I think I'm going to shut this back down and go get some tin foil and wrap those babies up. And you know what? Maybe I'll just wait 20 minutes, if that. Those are looking pretty darn good right now. All right. Come back in a few minutes and check. Hey folks, just pulling these snacks off of here. And those baby backs, they're down there. They're looking a little dark, so I want to get them wrapped up. I'm going to wrap these up and try some of this out inside here. We're going to do a little brown sugar, honey, and some butter. Wrap them up, throw them back on there so they get nice and tender. These spare ribs, we'll take a peek real quick. Spare ribs need another 20 minutes or so, and then we'll wrap those as well. All right, check you in a minute. All right, so I pulled the ribs off and getting ready to wrap them up here. I took the baby backs and those snacks or little treats off of the off the smoker, and we just did butter, brown sugar, and honey. Wrapped them back up, stuck them back on, and I'm going to do the same thing with these. So it's a pretty simple process. Just take it. These babies are hot. Man, are they hot. A lot of folks like to use parquet, like that squirty butter, but regular slices of unsalted butter work perfectly well for this. You just throw a couple pats on here, and you're good to go. There we go. 3 of those babies on there. Set that aside. Then I do honey. Honey for the money. Drizzle it over. Brown sugar. Okay. And then flip them over. Do the same thing. Throw some pats of butter on these babies. Boom. Boom. And then when we throw them back on the grill or the smoker, we're going to make sure that we put bone up. So this side is going to be down. And what that's going to do is all that fat that's going to drip out is going to soak back into the meat a little bit more. A lot of honey on those babies. Yeah, get them nice and evenly coated. All right, and then we'll take a little bit more brown sugar. Sprinkle it over. I like to do the honey first. Some people just throw, it doesn't matter what order really you do it in. I just think the honey helps the brown sugar stick to the ribs a little bit better. It's all going to render down anyway, right? So shake that out. Get it on there. Here we go. Wrapping them up. Pretty self-explanatory. I like to do the end first. And this side. Go to the middle. Go to the middle. And I got another one here. Wrap these babies nice and tight. We don't want any of that good flavor leaking out. Tuck the ends. And back over. Tuck it. And those are ready to go back on the grill. All right, folks, we're back at the smoker here, going into hour number 4. This baby is puffing away. I've got it choked down to about 275, which is where, there you go, which is where I wanted it all along. I really had to cut back on the damper, and then cut this back to about halfway, and there's still a pretty good fire going in there. Woo-wee. And now you can cut back on your expensive hickory, applewood, whatever. Now you're just heating everything up because we got everything wrapped. They're just sitting here getting nice and tender. Look, we got a little leak out. That's not cool, but it happens. So anyway, knock that off of there. So that's all that fat rendering out of here. These babies are hot, hot, hot. There's a little treats in here, and then these are our baby backs are up here. Our spares are down here. So let's close this back down. Let it do its thing. So we're probably looking at about 2 more hours, maybe an hour and a half, depending on how quickly these things tenderize. So we'll just keep an eye on it, and we'll check back in a little bit. All right, so we're back at the smoker. I got all of the ribs unwrapped and sauced and back on here. And I'll tell you what, man, those baby backs are like delicate. They are falling apart. Let's take a peek here. Now these are just getting, see, they kind of fell apart here, but that's all right. We got them sauced on both sides. They're just getting kissed by that hickory smoke as it comes across. And I'm going to take a little bit of the Podunk Barbecue Magic sauce here. This is our special sauce, and we're going to give these babies a little bath. And I'm just going to give them a generous coating, and we're going to let these go on here for like an hour. So this sets up so it's not super sloppy, but you get a nice glaze, and it's going to look beautiful. I mean, we got a beautiful color on these ribs right here. You know, these turned out a little darker than I would have liked them to, but hey, they're going to eat and they're going to be delicious. So right now, I'm going to close this back down, let the magic. So we have the spare ribs all done. I took a little taste test of our baby backs, and this is the spare. It looks really good. Came out really well. It's not falling off the bone, but it's cooked all the way through. Got a nice little smoke ring around here. And I'm going to take a little taste here and see. And it's perfect. It is absolutely perfect. And I cut right there, but it's perfectly tender and moist and delicious. And well worth the 6 hours of cooking. So we got a bunch of people coming over apparently to eat all this. And till next time.